Yeah.
Hello everybody, back with more Deadtime Stories. Moving on to the next two here, we have It Came from the Deep and Grave Secrets.
Ooh. So number 7, Don't Feed the Fish. Randy and Garrett are in for the vacation of their lives in the coolest resort in the Caribbean. There's sun and sand and water and sports galore. Ew. Unfortunately, something terrible is about to happen because there's a struggle going on in this tropical paradise. A war of the worlds between the people who live in the hidden city at the bottom of the sea and the webbed-footed, gill-headed mutants who secretly run the resort. It's a war only Randy and Garrett can stop as long as they don't end up as fish food first.
With stickers.
Stickers!
Great, 90s fun.
It's so exciting.
This, to me, at this point, we're at number 7. So far in the series, this is the best one so far.
This one's awesome.
This is not my favorite overall, the whole series, but this is the best so far.
We're at a
fantastic
high.
And it's premise-wise, I wouldn't necessarily think. I think I would like something more like Revenge of the Goblins, that kind of thing, because it is the more. It's very different than a lot of the other ones. On the surface, it doesn't feel as creepy with the families being brought in for this free vacation at this island resort in exchange for participating in a ritual. But we learn as this has a lot more lore and things that would make the stuff that's a little less spooky. It's more creepy. More as a kid, I feel like I had appreciated this more. Like I remember reading this one specifically when I reread this. I remember almost 25 years ago, at least reading this one, and that says a lot. I've actually remembered that after not reading for like 2 decades.
Yeah.
Left an impression on like a young kid to where there was enough to the story, to the mystery of sea creatures turning into people, talking to dolphins, the lore of like the city and what's actually going on with the ritual, almost getting caught in the camera room, like the kids kind of playing spy a little bit.
Yeah.
The mystery element. I think as the elementary school age audience, this was written to the point where they would find the mystery and everything engaging and very interesting.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think definitely this is like for that target audience, this is spot on, like great storytelling with a good kind of scary element to it.
Yeah, no, this was phenomenal. I enjoyed this one so much, and when I first saw this one, when I first got this, I just immediately thought this is going to be a ripoff of R.L. Stein's Deep Trouble.
Right, because that was these came
out
in because of the Goosebumps and the '90s rise and that kind of stuff.
I just thought this is going to be,
but not at all.
I think I might like this better.
I think it's better. Yeah,
I think this is better.
Yeah.
This is much more fantastical.
Yeah.
But this has like a whole mythology behind it, and I mean, they did an amazing job.
This would have been a fun
believable
episode, like a '90s kids, like a Goosebumps TV series type thing, or like Are You Afraid of the Dark? This would have been a lot of fun as that.
This would have been super fun.
That was written very well.
The parents are weird. Like, what parent is...
Yeah, they were a little too okay with things going on, especially once whole families started disappearing. Like,
no,
they're a little too
no.
not, they weren't questioning things, but
I
whatever.
think also from a kid's point of view, your parents like aren't doing logical things to you. They are just like, okay, fine.
The adult, yeah.
But I feel like amazing, just amazing.
Yeah, I ended up giving this an 8.5.
I gave it a 9.
Yeah, so pretty high.
I loved it.
We both, this is our highest rating so far. So that was really good. And then moving on to another good one, Grave Secrets, number 8.
Something's buried in the backyard. Amanda Peterson has a pet cemetery in her backyard. It's where she's buried all of her family's dearly departed pets, like Ralph the hamster, Herman the goldfish, and Snitch the canary. But when Amanda and her friends set out to bury a dead squirrel, they accidentally dig up a grave that's already occupied, and not by a pet. The scary old lady who lives next door has lots of buried secrets, and she'll do anything to keep them that way.
And like It Came from the Deep, Grave Secrets, I think for that age group, this has enough of an interesting mystery to solve that adds more than just being scary creatures coming after me. Scary creatures coming after me, you can only read so many times, even as like a second, third grader, like the target audience here, you can only read that so many times. And you want a little bit more meat on the bone of the story, you want a little more to explore, and I think it balances that. This has enough of an interesting mystery to uncover that someone of that age group
Isn't
might
gonna-
want
yeah.
to, it might not be so completely obvious in like chapter 1. They might take a little bit of figuring out, and that's great. I think that's well written. Again, these are both ones I think that if you have a kid like of that age group, these are good to pick up. These two work
These
really
are
well.
fantastic, and I really liked it. It was creepy, and it was good, and I love Emily. Like,
Yeah,
as
the
an
next
adult,
the next door neighbor, very,
as an adult, I feel like as a kid, like she's creepy and scary, but like it's like we were talking with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
yeah, well, same thing.
That-
Re-examining as an adult, like
As
a
an
little
adult.
bit of the. I think people think of a lot of classic Disney or even like more modern Pixar stuff, where like there are little some things for adults in there
Yeah.
that a kid might not necessarily get. And I think this is one of the few in the series that actually has that with that character, to where it's like, okay, if I'm reading this to my kid at night as like a scary bedtime story, I'm gonna enjoy it a little more than I would some other stuff. Because sometimes those books can be, I'm reading this for you, kid, but oh, this is terrible. But these actually, I think, could be enjoyable kind of thing.
Yeah.
So definitely ones, again, these were two really strong.
Would you
I gave
give
it a 7.
I gave it an 8.
So, yeah, so very, definitely like strong ones, good ones that if you have a
yeah.
kid that elementary age, grab them. You know, when
Yeah.
they're at home for this time of year, they'll love them. If you're reading a book to your kids, definitely. Like if you've read through all the Goosebumps and that kind of thing, or you just, even if you're an adult and you want to revisit some of those, you missed these as a kid, you grew up in the 90s,
I was
Scholastic
very
magazine, check it out.
pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was not expecting these, because some of the Goosebump ones, especially 62, reading 62 Goosebump books, after a while, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 'cause
These
they were-
don't feel like that.
Yeah, because
These
there
are
were
not-
so many. We said this in another one, how there were so many Goosebumps books that came out in a short period of time. There are some all-time classics, but there are some just real duds in the mix because there's so many.
Yeah.
Like you can't. Sometimes
Yeah,
you
it's
get.
not your
Sometimes
fault,
you
yeah.
get chicken. Like sometimes
You could get some flack
But
for that.
yeah, but
Some people like that.
but these the weren't. It's more consistently good.
Yeah,
So,
I think
yeah.
they are definitely
But,
quality.
yeah. So we were going to keep doing these. Make sure you check back a whole series of these ranking video at the end. We'll see you in the next one.